What makes a man a gentleman? What makes a man a gentleman, or what makes a young man a gentleman? And when I say young man, I mean 15, 16, 14, 13 years old. And what makes a young man a gentleman? Well, I feel like a young man of 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, um, he pays attention to his surroundings. He pays attention to his surroundings, and he picks up on things that others may not notice. So, what does that mean? That means they are well mannered. Like I said, they pay attention to stuff in their surroundings that others might not notice. So, for example, tonight, um, before I got off my, before I get to my stop, there is a bunch of teenagers from school, that are teenagers that are going to school. Okay, so they get on the bus, and normally I don't sit in the front, but I have my reasons for sitting in the front for tonight. So, but um, when it came time to get off at the stop, there was like six of them that got off, and there was like a couple young boys and a couple girls, and so they got off the bus first, and they this young man, this young gentleman, this young boy, he probably, maybe he was like a sophomore, 10th grade, or maybe 11th grade, I don't know, but he had a basketball hoodie on, the high school hoodie. That's it, the school name and the basketball team hoodie. And he got up and he was standing up, and he was putting his backpack on, and I was looking at him, watching the kids get off the bus, and he looked at me and he stood there after the last person got off, and I said thank you. I told him thank you, and he nodded his head. That is a young gentleman. That is a young gentleman. So he was paying attention that, okay, all my friends or all my peers are here, we're all getting off, but I see this adult, right? I see this adult woman here, older woman. I'm going to let her go first. In his mind, he did that. Now, what comes to my mind is his mama must be so proud of him. For real. That's what comes to my mind, is that his mama must be so proud of him, because he's very respectful. You can tell already, because he didn't even think twice. He just looked at me and was like looking at me to go. Like he was letting me go. And I said, thank you. Like a gentleman. How do we teach our young boys to be gentlemen? That is my next series. And parenting. Not all boys grow up to be gentlemen. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. If they didn't grow up with the mom that respected them, and if they don't grow up with the mom that, or a mother figure that didn't invest into them, into their well-being, into their mannerisms, into their male ego. Like, for real, you as a female, if you're a mom, you can invest into your son's, your boy's ego. All men are born with egos, right? All men are born with egos. Now, at what level their egos are when they're adults, we don't know what it will be until they be. Seriously. In my family, I grew up with the men opening the doors for the ladies, the girls. Even when I was young, my uncle always did open the door for me. My grandfather always did open the door for us. His wife, my grandma, and for us, his granddaughters. He always did open the door for us. Um, of course, he pulled out chairs for my grandmother, not us. We had to pull out our own chair. But what I'm saying is that a gentleman pays attention to his surroundings and sees what needs to be done in order to show his mannerism. And that young boy just made me think of my son, because my son is a gentleman. He really, really is. And a lot of it has to do with respect. If you can respect a young boy, a little boy, as a gentleman, they will become gentlemen. I don't know how to explain it, but when I first had my son, I always did teach him that he is strong. I always did teach him that he is smart. I always did teach him that as a boy, he needs to be polite. He needs to speak when spoken to. He needs to show respect wherever we go. Whether it's even his auntie's house or his friend's house or his dad's friend's house, always speak when the wives of his dad's friends would speak to him and say hello, he speaks back. And even my daughters too, but we're focusing on the boys today. But I always did teach him that. And then of course his father taught him all the other stuff. Okay, because my son is a gentleman, and so when I experienced that today with that young boy, I all I could think about was how proud his mama must be of him, because you can tell he's a very respectful boy and he has a good head on his shoulders. And I'm not saying that, oh my gosh, you can tell however the kid is just by that one thing. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he could be a punk. Who knows? I don't know. But he's respectful to older people, to adults, to women. He is. You can just tell, because you can tell that he lives in a... Now, I don't know his family dynamics. I don't know if his mom is a single mom, or even maybe his mom doesn't even raise him. Maybe his grandmother raises him, or his auntie raises him. But regardless of whoever is raising him, they are teaching him how to be a gentleman, how to pay attention to his surroundings, how to have respect for people, and have confidence in themselves to be respectful to other people. And that's what we need to teach our kids. We need to teach our kids that they are everything and anything that they want to be. If they want to be, if like he had a basketball hoodie on with the school name on it, so obviously he's on the basketball team. He has confidence in himself. He just the fact that he let me go first, you can tell that he respects the adults in his family, and he honors them. And that's the important thing that we have to teach our kids, because if the child doesn't see, like, doesn't see that type of treatment at home, or doesn't receive that type of treatment at home, there's no way that he's gonna be like that. Even just as courteous, like simple courtesy to let a woman go first, a female to go ahead of him, and everybody else went. You know what I mean? Of course, he couldn't control everybody and tell, bro, try to sit down, let the girls and just let it go first. No, he couldn't say that. But they got off the bus and he sat up and he looked at me and kind of gave me the look like, go ahead, miss. And I was like, thank you. I said, thank you. How kind. Honestly, honestly, some men today don't even do that. But yet they claim to be gentlemen. No. Some of them don't even know how to open the door. Some of the men open the door and go first. And then push the door open so that you can go instead of holding the door. Some men do that. I've seen that. I've seen that. To their wives or girlfriends or significant others. I can see, okay, I can see if, they're just doing that for just one lady or whatever. At least he not going to like give full effort. I've also seen men open the door for their wife, the lady behind, and her husband, and the other girl, you know, and his family. Hold the door open. I've seen that. I've seen men not even hold the door open, not even open the door. You know what I mean? I've seen two complete different opposites. Now, I'm not making a judgment and saying, oh, that's not one gentleman or whatever, but maybe they don't know how. But my point of telling you this story is the fact that this boy was that young and he thought to let a female go first before him, having manners. That's the whole point of me telling you this. And I looked at him and I just see a young gentleman. How do we teach our boys to be gentlemen? How do we do that?